Welcome to The Explainer. I am so glad you're joining us today because we are jumping straight into what I like to call a Blackboard masterclass. We're looking at how the Federal Reserve is quietly engineering this massive liquidity squeeze. It's literally shifting the ground right beneath our feet. We're going to break down exactly how these stubbornly high interest rates are actually forcing institutional capital into one specific hedge, all while trapping everyday investors in cash. It's wild. Let's get into it. Now, let's start with the central paradox here, right? If you've ever taken a basic economics class, you know the textbook rules. When a central bank raises rates and tightens up financial conditions, risk assets are supposed to get absolutely crushed. Borrowing gets expensive, liquidity dries up, and speculative stuff just plummets. But look around. Against all conventional wisdom, Bitcoin is thriving right now. So why? Well, it is definitely not just retail hype anymore. It's a highly calculated institutional response to a massive liquidity squeeze. Just try to wrap your head around this number. $127 billion. That's how much capital institutions poured into spot Bitcoin ETFs as of early 2026. Guys, this isn't just a trickle. It's a total flood. And honestly, it sets up the entire foundation for this massive rotation of capital that we're going to map out for you today. Okay, here's a quick look at today's syllabus. We're covering the high rate paradox, the liquidity plumbing, the institutional ETF rotation, the retail cash trap, and finally, the lead indicator. So, part 1, the high rate paradox. Right, so we are definitely not getting that smooth, soft landing everybody was hoping for. Instead, we're stuck in what you'd call a sticky landing. Core PCE inflation is just glued stubbornly near 3.0%. And because of this persistent inflation floor, the federal funds rate is sitting elevated, right between 3.5 and 4.0%. The Fed went from planning all these rate cuts to a strict higher for longer stance. And let me tell you, these high borrowing costs, they are actively squeezing interest-sensitive sectors, forcing capital to desperately look for new, safer homes. It really comes down to this. The dream of a soft landing is actively being challenged by the reality of a sticky landing. The Federal Reserve is completely boxed in right now. They can't just slash rates. If they do, they risk a 1970s-style resurgence of inflation. But by keeping rates this high, they're putting an incredible, sustained squeeze on the traditional investment landscape. Moving on to Section 2, decoding the liquidity plumbing. Okay, the absolute most crucial thing to understand here is net liquidity. This is the exact formula elite macro analysts actually use to see if money is flowing into or out of the financial markets. It's the Fed balance sheet minus the reverse repo facility, which is basically the Fed's giant parking lot for excess cash, and then you subtract the Treasury General account, which is essentially the government's checking account. You literally cannot just look at official interest rates. You have to look at this hidden plumbing to see where the water is truly flowing. And let's look at a prime example of this plumbing in action. Imagine a massive financial parking lot, absolutely packed with $2.55 trillion of idle cash. That was the reverse repo facility back in December 2022. But as the U.S. Treasury started issuing more short-term bills that offered really competitive yields, that parking lot slowly started to empty out. By 2025 and into 2026, this massive facility had been depleted to almost zero. So how does this actually build into a hidden market force? Well, step 1, cash leaves that Fed parking lot. Step 2, money market funds take that cash and use it to buy new Treasury bills. And step 3, the U.S. Treasury spends those dollars right back into the real economy. Over $2 trillion mechanically bypassed the Fed's quantitative tightening. It acted as this massive, secret tailwind for the economy and assets like Bitcoin, literally injecting liquidity while the Fed was officially trying to drain it. And you know what? The historical data totally backs this up. Bitcoin's long-term price variance is heavily dictated by global M2 money supply and overall liquidity expansions. But here is the massive catch we need to talk about. That reverse repo tailwind, it's completely gone. The liquidity squeeze is officially on, and the smart money, they already know it. Which brings us to Section 3, the institutional ETF rotation. The sheer scale of this institutional takeover is just phenomenal. We're not talking about retail day traders here anymore. Look at this. BlackRock's IBIT alone holds roughly $75 billion. Fidelity's FBTC, over $20 billion. Just think about that scale for a second. These massive, regulated spot ETFs have fundamentally changed the game. They've essentially kicked the floodgates wide open for traditional finance. Look at how deeply integrated this asset has become. These ETFs now hold 6.5% of the entire Bitcoin network value. Plus, you've got 47 public companies hoarding nearly 500,000 Bitcoin on their corporate balance sheets. Elite hedge fund managers are using these regulated ETF rails to protect their portfolios against policy uncertainty and synchronized currency debasement. Bitcoin is quite literally trading on the exact same institutional desks as Apple and Nvidia. It's not a fringe asset anymore. It's a strategic, high-beta portfolio allocation against the Fed's sticky inflation. Now, for Section 4, the retail cash trap. This right here is the tragic irony of our explainer today. As we speak, there is a record-breaking $7.71 trillion sitting completely idle in U.S. money market funds. And get this, over $3 trillion of that belongs to retail investors. Everyday people are hoarding cash, honestly thinking they're playing it incredibly safe because they're lured in by decent-looking yields. All the while, inflation is just quietly eating their lunch. Let's lay this macro trap out bare. On one side, you have retail investors parking their cash in treasury bills, capturing maybe 3.5 to 4% nominal yields. But remember that 3% sticky inflation we just talked about? Yeah, their actual real return is incredibly low, basically near zero. Now, on the exact opposite side, institutional mega funds are aggressively allocating into Bitcoin ETFs. They know the Fed's high rates are squeezing the entire system, right? So they're using Bitcoin as a macro hedge to front-run the inevitable moment when the central bank is forced to break down, pivot, and inject liquidity back into the system. The Fed's high rates have lulled retail into this false sense of security right as the institutions are buying the lifeboats. And that leads into Section 5, the liquidity lead indicator. If you only take away one thing today, let it be this: Bitcoin's identity has fundamentally changed. Because it's now dominated by institutional capital flowing through these massive ETF rails, it's no longer just some lagging tech speculation that reacts to the news. Institutions analyze macro trends deeply, and they position themselves months in advance. Because of that, Bitcoin is now front-running central bank decisions. It's actually transformed into a forward-looking liquidity indicator, moving before the policy changes even happen. And that brings us to the end of our syllabus today, leaving you with one really vital question as you evaluate your own portfolio. In this massive institutional chess match, where the Fed's high rates have engineered a silent liquidity squeeze, are you trapped in cash, slowly losing purchasing power to sticky inflation? Or are you positioned for the pivot? I hope this explainer gave you a clear lens into the hidden mechanics of our markets today. Keep learning, stay focused, and we'll see you in the next one.